With the material for the test having been covered already, this lesson here is going to look at how we apply like terms to our work. Remember that when you first started to work with fractions, whether you liked it or not, there was a time, if you remember, when the following answers were no longer accepted as correct. Answers like 3 over 6, 10 over 50, 6 over 21, or 8 over 14. Think for a second, if you remember, why. But again, you used to start getting marked off on these, but think about it for a second and see if you can remember why that was. If you're thinking along the right lines, it's because you know that 3 over 6 can be turned into both divided by 3, 1/2. 10 and 50 can both be divided by 10 to become 1/5. 6 and 21 both can be divided by 3 to become 2 over 7. And 8 over 14 can be divided by 2 to become 6 over 7. These are all simplified versions of the fractions. You called it reducing, but it's really simplifying. And once you learned about simplifying fractions, you were no longer allowed to not simplify your fractions, because that's just how life works. Once you know how to do it, they expect for you to do it all the time. Well, similarly, once you learn how to simplify by combining like terms, well, you're now no longer not allowed to combine like terms, and this lesson is going to at least show you some of the things you need to look out for so you can train your eyes to kind of see it, because again, that's really where everything is going to be going from. Outside of that, 2x plus 3 plus 7x. Looking at this, we should recognize we have an x here and an x there that can both be put together. Again, notice my underlining ability or skill where I will underline whatever can go together one time. 2 plus 7, that's a positive 2, positive 7, which makes 9x. My 3 has nothing to combine with, so it just kind of comes down. That was something that we did, I believe, after your quiz on Friday, or should have had that after your quiz on Friday just to check it out. Here on B, 5x has nothing to combine with, so we're just going to bring down the 5x. But 6 and 8 can both go together and they make 14. These are both simplified, and that's what you're going to be expected to be doing as we're moving forward. All right. 2x minus 4x minus 6. Well, in this case, 2x minus 4x, that is a negative 2x, because remember it's 2 minus 4, or positive 2, negative 4, however you view it. And then the minus 6 has nothing to go with, so we just bring down minus 6. But you have to make sure you bring down minus 6. And again, that's the trick of it, is making sure as you're practicing this that you're respecting this as negative 6, and it comes down as negative 6, not just 6. Just like you have to respect the fact that 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Same thing on this one. 8 and minus 4 both can go together. They're both constants, so that means 8 minus 4, which turns into 4. Your negative 3x, again, that's a negative 3x, comes down as negative 3x and stays that way. So again, if you see something like these things, you have to turn them into the simplified forms. Otherwise, you're going to pretty much lose credit for whatever you're doing. Many times the part that you're looking for won't be obvious, but the work will expect for you to follow your instincts. For example, you're going to be expected to do something whenever you see something like this. And once you see the parentheses with the x on the inside, we should understand that what we're going to do is say 4 times 2x is 8x, 4 times 1 is 4, and that's that. That's the distributive property, and so we did that for, I think, 3 weeks, which means that whenever you see it, your instinct must kick in. The instinct doesn't change, but sometimes now that you're used to it and we're moving forward, you might have to combine like terms afterwards. But again, you'll have to just train yourself to start looking at that and looking for that. So when you see something like this, first off, it's a hint because you've got a distributive property with another thing on the outside, which means it's probably going to combine with something. So 2 times 3x being 6x, 2 times negative 4 being negative 8, and then bring down your 5x. Now notice you have 6x and 5x, which can go together to make 11x, and then your minus 8 comes down. This is where you have to stop. You can no longer stop here because of those like terms. That would be the same as putting a fraction you can write better. So you want to make sure again that you're paying attention to this, because if you don't, you're going to miss some silly key points. But outside of that, here we go. 4 here, it says 4 plus 5 times O's. This 5 is the only thing meeting. This 4 has nothing to do with it, so we bring down the 4 and then we do the rest of it. That's 5 times 3x, which is positive 15x. That's 5 times negative 2, which is negative 10. Look at it carefully, because you got to start doing that and look to, oh yeah, this is a constant and that's a constant, which means 4 and negative 10 make negative 6. The plus 15x just comes down. This would be the simplified version of what you're looking for. All right. The difference between this one and this one is the fact that that's a positive 5, so you kind of work forward, but you've got to make sure when you distribute here, we already should know that the 4x just comes down, or after a while you'll know the 4x just comes down. But you've got to remember this is a negative 2 times x, which is a negative 2x. You also have to make sure you recognize that's a negative 2 times negative 6, which makes a positive 12. Now, we won't see a lot of those in our work, but when they do pop up, just make sure you're paying attention to the fact that that's a negative distributing to another negative. After that, you have to make sure you, again, recognize that these two things can go together. Pretty much what's happening is you learned the skill, we've worked on the skill, and we've worked on your instincts, but now you've got to slow down and you've got to start making sure you start looking at your answer from a perspective of, can I do any more based off what I know how to do? So the worksheet that we have in class today is just pretty much to practice that. So again, in about 3 weeks, you will have to know how to kind of do the like terms and the distributive property and all that. But just remember, there will be moments of frustration, but that's just a part of learning how to do anything new. So again, embrace that, be okay to mess up, and as you continue to work, you will get better. Outside of that, good luck on your test tomorrow, and again, we'll talk to you later.